Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So this is a video that I never thought I would have to make in regards to like NBA Summer League. But here we are, guys. Here we are, man. Today we are going to be talking about the much heated debate between Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green. And if you guys know, they are going to match up tonight, or maybe you already watched the game. And we still have a lot of good things to say about it regardless, right? Because I personally am trying to keep the mindset where, hey, this is just Summer League, but also the mindset where, you know, this is number one, number two pick right here, man. And both guys feel like they should have went number one. And beyond that, beyond the players, just the community of the Houston Rockets and Detroit Pistons have been going back and forth. And I will say, probably the other 28 NBA teams don't really care as much about this matchup, with maybe the exception of the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I know that the Houston Rocket fans were going crazy at them about Evan Mobley after Alperen Sengun had an absolutely phenomenal game. And yeah, guys, I mean, what I really want to talk about here is expectations, how we view the game of basketball, and why exactly we're having like such like this big, huge just war between really the Houston Rockets and Detroit Pistons with the alliance of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think the first thing we have to look at before we talk about Cade and Jalen in general is what exactly is on the line. And I'm not talking about on the line for a Summer League game. I'm talking on the line for making the right choice and incorporating that right choice into your team. Let's look at the Detroit Pistons first. The Detroit Pistons have notoriously not been great at drafting. Now, since Troy Weaver's gotten here, things have gotten a lot better, as we had two players that were all NBA rookie teams, and they weren't even our top picks in the draft. So that was pretty good. Obviously, K remains to be seen what's going to happen there. But the Detroit Pistons notoriously have been bad at drafting, and you can just kind of feel the tension that if they did screw up the pick with Cade, to any extent, then it's just going to be absolutely just the worst, man. It's going to be the worst, and, you know, sticks and stones will break my bones, words will never hurt me, right? We all know that damn saying, right? But damn, them words sting after a bit. You know, after hearing them for so long, they start to sting just a little bit, man. And when it comes down to it, I mean, it's easier to have missed out on the guy that was drafted ahead of you, as opposed to drafting the guy, and the guy after was the way better player. And it's to the extent that, like, if Cade even just has, like, a respectable career, like, yeah, this is a good, solid point guard, but Jalen Green ends up becoming, like, this Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant type of shooting guard, then that's still not good enough as number one pick. It helps it a little bit. You get to say, well, I mean, you know, Cade was still good and everything, right? So the Detroit Pistons, us, the fan base, everything, it's like, you know, we don't want to screw this up. We don't want to screw this up, right? And then you look at the other side of the spectrum with Jalen Green, and what I'm seeing a lot with their fan base right now is, you know, obviously last season they got absolutely just destroyed by media and the NBA community and all that stuff because, you know, for one, I'm going to say it, they failed with James Harden. They didn't win a ring with James Harden, and that's not really the fan base's fault. Maybe it's more so management, and also some you know, there was some injuries, so with CP3 and obvious, but not guaranteeing a championship. But also even with James Harden, he had some shortcomings too over the years. I mean, I still remember that Ginobili block, man. I still remember that. You know, all that stuff. It's like that's stuff. I mean, that there's a big sample size there to like see, like, hey, like these are all the different reasons, right? So I think the Houston Rockets are a little extra sensitive right now, to which they don't want, they need Jalen Green to be the guy that we all think he can be. Because the quicker he becomes that guy, the quicker everybody forgets about James Harden and the Houston Rockets. And it's like, okay, we get to move on to this next thing. We get to move on with Jalen Green, compete for championships, build a really good team. And I think that's what a lot of it is. I think a lot of it is sensitivity to that. I think my other greatest example I have of that, which, okay, I personally don't mind, in some cases, toxic fan bases that are knowingly toxic, and probably the rest of the NBA deserves it because of it. My prime example right now is the New York Knicks. Like, the New York Knicks got to the playoffs last year, and damn, they were letting people hear it, right? They were letting people hear it, but for good reason, because, like, over the course of the past 20 years, we've been roasting the hell out of their franchise. So, you know, it's like we all knew they were, you know, Trae Young's balding. We all knew that shit was, like, petty as hell, but we all loved it because we're like, okay, yeah, we all kind of deserve this a bit, right? We all kind of deserve this a bit. But talking more about Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham, I think the biggest issue here, too, with both these players is the style of play that they play at, and I think they're both going to be amazing at their style. You look at Jalen Green is more of a highlight reel, man. Like, Jalen Green has that explosiveness to him. He has that scorer's mentality. He has that, I can see that 30-point per game go-getter every single night. I see that so much with Jalen Green. It's not even funny, man. Like, he's Showtime. He's somebody you buy season tickets to go watch. Now, Cade Cunningham on the other side is, you know, kind of more of the cool, composed, I want to run the offense, slow things down a little bit, you know, pick out my spots, analyze the game. He kind of has that more mentality to him, right? Which isn't as exactly like, I mean, I personally love that style of basketball, but no, it's not doing like 360 dunks and all that crazy stuff. It's more so playing smart, playing to your means and getting the most out of your teammates, right? So I think a lot of that too is also what's coming down to this big time argument between Cade and Jalen. And also, you know, even watching like that first Summer League game, man, and I think it was Jalen's first also. It might have been his second. I don't remember. The one where he had 23 points in. You know, I watched that, and I think Jalen Green overall had the better performance. I mean, he like literally, he had as good as performances I've ever seen from a Summer League kid out there, right? Where Cade, you know, obviously the shooting wasn't good, but there's a lot of other things that I saw from him that were decent enough where I'm like, okay, I see a lot of good things here. But, you know, a lot of NBA fans, especially a lot of the casuals out there, they care about scoring the basketball. They care about they care about the ball going in the basket and not the other means that it takes to win a basketball game, right? So I think a lot of it too is ignoring that. But as far as my expectations come down for both these players, man, I'm not gonna hate on Jalen Green just because the fan base is being a little extra about him. I think he's going to be a fantastic player, and just watching his interviews, he's a very humble kid. I mean, well, humble to the sense where it's like, you know, you can just see the passion there, but also he wants to be the best player, which is completely fine. I do expect Jalen to be a 30-point per game scorer eventually. At least, you know, maybe around 25 points per game. Maybe he does that for quite a few seasons. Where with Cade, obviously you want the scoring to be there, but I also, you know, care a lot about the rebounding, the playmaking, the defense, and all that stuff, man. So I'm looking for an exciting game tonight. I do know either way, whatever the outcome is, for any reason whatsoever, the opposite fan base is going to be extremely toxic. I'm going to try not to be toxic, but I will be reacting to the game over on my second channel, Extra Crispy. At that point, I would have already watched the game, but just to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it, if you do want to go, you know, subscribe to my second channel, Extra Crispy. But, yeah, man, I'm going to try not to be extra, but it's just so easy sometimes. And I also want to point out, too, this is not a shot at all of the Houston Rockets fans. There's some people out there that I've had the pleasure of talking to over the past few days that have said nothing but good things about, you know, Cade, and I've had nothing but good things to say about Jalen. And we just had good conversations. One of my good buddies I talked to a lot on Twitter, like, he's a Houston Rockets fan. I've been talking to him for years. And, yeah, he's one of the coolest dudes I know out there, right, man? So, you got that. You have that for both sides, though. Maybe, I think a lot of it, too, we get biased towards our own team where, I try not to say there's a lot of biased Pistons fans, but I'm sure that's not the case. Because with the same case as the Knicks, maybe not to the extent of how long they had to deal with it for, but the Pistons have kind of been a laughing stock of the NBA for 10, 15 years now, so I know a lot of us are also excited to win games and everything. But for me personally, man, I'm rooting for good basketball. You know, I want to see these kids. I hope they both have good games. Now, it could be the case where, you know, Cade has a horrible game, Jalen has a fantastic game, then obviously we're going to have that short-term bias of going towards Jalen. Maybe Jalen has a bad game and Cade has a great game. They're all like, oh, Cade was the right choice all along. But when it comes down to it, man, like, this is one Summer League game out of the course of 15 to 20 NBA, you know, 15 to 20 year NBA careers, right? So let's have fun with it. Let's stay humble, although that's words that's just not going to, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to stay humble, man. You know, we're all going to be rooting for our teams out there. I'm looking forward to it. You guys can probably like hear it in my voice. It's so funny, just like so starved for some sort of basketball entertainment when it comes to my favorite team that I'm making a video about Summer League, man. But here we are, you know. Haven't had championships, haven't really had any good playoff runs lately. So, yeah, I'm going to get hyped up for the number one, number two picks playing against each other in the Summer League. We're going to go from there. So, you guys let me know in the comment section what you guys all think about this. Do you feel like, I want to know your opinion, especially if you're not a fan of either one of these teams. Like, do you feel like nobody else really cares? By the way, I have a quarter in my hand. I actually was trying to fix my ceiling fan, and I taped it to the top of it like a little weight, and it flung off and almost took my eye out, man. But, yeah, do you guys feel like, you know, nobody else really cares? Is this just like a Houston Rocket, Detroit Piston beef? Also, let me know in the comment section below, too, man. Like, if you are a fan of a team that's had like a number one, number two pick, have you also had like this similar back and forth? I know that Luka Doncic and Trae Young, their fan bases and their draft are going to be compared until the day that they both retire, but that's a case where, you know, we all look at Luka and say, well, Luka's better than Trae Young, but Trae Young's also so damn good where it's like, okay, that's not that big of a deal then, right? Because both guys are perfect for their own franchises, and really Trae Young's had more success so far in the NBA as far as a team standpoint, right? But all right, guys, looking forward to the game. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out my second channel, Extra Crispy. I'll also probably be trash talking on my Twitter account, CrispyFlakes2K. And also I have Instagram, CrispyFlakes_YT. That's all we got. Peace out, guys.